Ruth Bartolo, registered dietitian with LivWell Health. Today we're going to be doing a demonstration on a vegetarian chili. This is a really great recipe that's very easy, doesn't have a lot of ingredients, and are probably some things that you're using in your pantry that you might not think about putting into a chili. This chili is vegetarian. It doesn't have any meat in it, nor does it have any chicken or beef broth as well. The big key player of this, where we're getting a lot of our protein and that typical texture of chili, is actually from our lentils. Lentils are an excellent source of protein. They're very cost effective. This bag of lentils is about $2. We'll use not even the whole bag in our recipe, so this can be really cost effective. One of the other key players in chili is typically some sort of tomato base of some sorts. Today we'll be using a V8, a low sodium V8 as a different kind of option rather than a thick chunky chili. This will be very smooth. This is really great if you're not much of a cook. You don't have to do a lot of stuff. And the other thing I really like about this recipe is we're making a normal amount of chili. We're not making enough chili that you're gonna have to eat off of it for 6 or 7 days and grow tired of it. It's a good amount for a family for one meal. So let's go ahead and get started. First, what we're gonna do is we're going to take our pot and we're gonna warm it up and add some oil to it. I'm using just a vegetable or olive oil today. We don't need a whole lot, just enough to saute our garlic and onion. Get that started. Any of your oils are actually pretty good to use, especially when you're using small quantities to saute. Olive oil does have a few more heart healthy principles, so we tend to prefer that over some of the other oils traditionally. Next, we're gonna go ahead and add about 2 cups of diced onion. This was about one onion that was rather large, diced up. So we'll go ahead and get that added to our pot here. Give that a nice stir. And then we're gonna add 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. You can use fresh garlic and mince it, or if you prefer to buy the pre-packaged garlic that's already minced, that's totally fine. But it's about 1 tablespoon, or about a clove and a half of garlic. So one of the most common themes that we had in some of my cooking classes was the debate about garlic. When your recipes call for garlic, it usually comes in what they call a bulb of garlic. And then there's each individual section is actually a clove. So some of your recipes might call for a quantity after it's already minced, or some might call for a clove. So when they talk about a clove, they're actually just talking about that one section. So that can be kind of deceiving for some people, and is a question I get actually fairly often. So this just needs to cook for about 2 to 3 minutes. What we're waiting to do is we're wanting that onion to kind of come translucent in color, so it's just a little bit see-through. It should be really fragrant. That garlic should also release its scent as well. It doesn't take very long, and I just have this on a medium to low setting. While that's cooking, we're gonna go ahead and get our other ingredients ready. The next thing we're gonna add is our frozen carrots. So this is really good because we could use fresh carrots if we like, but frozen's a really great way to save some cash and some time, because having to peel and cut carrots, while it's not the most difficult task, it can be tedious, and so on a busy weeknight, this is a good substitute to add. So we're gonna add 1 bag of frozen carrots. This one is about 12 ounces. Anywhere from 10 to 16 ounces, depending on your brand, would be a fine amount of carrots to add. That's gonna give our chili some texture, since we're going ahead and using the V8 as our tomato base. Get that started, nice and incorporated here. And then with our V8, we're gonna use 4 cups of V8, and I'm using a low sodium variety. They also have some different spicy varieties of V8, so if you like to heat things up a bit, that might be a good alternative for you. It's whatever you like. I do recommend looking for a low sodium variety, just because V8's one of those things that can have a lot of sodium content in it, and typically we don't really need as much sodium as most of those products come prepared. Add 4 cups total. My measuring cup is 2 cups. So the other advantage of using the V8 juice in this recipe as our base is we don't have to use as much seasoning. So that's really helpful. Some of our recipes, especially for making any soup or chili type item, they're going to have a lot of spices and seasons required. This one, we're just using some chili powder, some cumin, and oregano. Very simple, just 3 spices. We'll get those added. It's already smelling really good. And then our lentils. This recipe calls for 12 ounces of lentils, and our bags, usually at most of the grocery stores, they come in 1 pound. So we're gonna add about 3/4 of this bag. So lentils are one of those things, they're actually a little bit different than beans. They're in a different family, but they also are really high in fiber and protein similar to beans. What's different about lentils and beans is that lentils you don't actually want to rinse before cooking, because when we rinse them, it can make them really tough and not very palatable. A good lentil would be soft and tender and not tough. So that's our end goal with the lentils here. And the other thing that if you've never cooked lentils before is making sure we're not overcooking them. This is only gonna cook for about 15 minutes. And that time should allow our carrots to be cooked thoroughly, our lentils should be soft and tender, and our chili should be ready. This recipe also wants you to leave them uncovered. And that again is to help with the lentils cooking correctly, not having a weird texture to them. So 15 minutes, and it's easy as that.